Welcome to this demonstration of the new Symbla app from Widgit. Working with our Swedish partners, we hope to have Symbla available later this year, at least for beta testing. The education team at Widgit have been working on English content that will be ready for students to access. Initially, Symbla will be launched for individual use, but group and class accounts will eventually be added to the mix. Available on both Apple and Android tablets, it will be a valuable addition to the Widgit portfolio, bringing a different aspect as it's less about resource creation and more about individual student skills and knowledge learning. I'll start by entering as a student so you can see what a child or young person will access and view. Then later as an adult to show how activities can be allocated and created. When everything is up and running, students will be able to log in via a QR code generated on the teacher account, so there's no need to remember passwords, although these will be available as a symbol combination as well as text option. So just bear with me for a moment while I log in. So obviously at the moment I am working on test versions and I can see some Swedish in the bottom right hand corner as well that will need sorting out before we go live. And I suspect there are many more things that we'll notice as we go through. Now I'm keeping everything crossed that a combination of iPads and recording on the computer means that you'll be able to see and hear things. So a small number of profiles can be created on an individual account. The numbers are yet to be decided, but probably around 2 or 3 family members. And group and class accounts will allow for greater profile numbers. So it might be a small group of 6, might be a whole class in a special school of maybe 10, or even into mainstream of 30. So as a student, I would choose my profile. Now, teachers and parents can allocate activities to each student, and these will appear initially as unopened presents. So I'm going to go into Thursday 30, and you can see I've got a couple of unopened presents there and one that I've previously opened and started work on. So if we have a look at the shapes there, just click into that. So that folder, so the orange folders consist of a number of different activities. This one in shapes has got 2D and 3D. And I've already started, so I've done a couple of activities in the 2D shapes. So it's showing the progress that I've made as a student. On the teacher board, there will be a dashboard and teachers, parents will be able to see how far a student has got, how well they've done, whether they've succeeded, whether they've completed activities. So just opening up 2D shapes, just again to show you a little bit more about what that might look like. So within each activity, and we'll go into one in a moment, there are effectively a number of pages, so little exercises to do within the activity. And depending on the number of activities, the number of exercises, depends on how this roadmap is laid out. So if there are quite a lot, then you'll see the starting point at different times. If there's only a couple, you wouldn't have this roadmap. And to get into an activity or an exercise, I would just click on the arrow and that would take me in. So we'll do that. Now, there are a number of different background scenes. These are generated on a random process. So
find all the 2D shapes.
There are also instructions, but we'll come to that in a moment. So the background scenes generated randomly. So hopefully over this session, you'll see a number of the different ones that we have. I'm not going to complete this one because I want to go in and open up one of the others and then work through the whole way, but that was just a starting point. So going back home, we can get back to our other presents. So these are unopened, haven't done these ones yet. And so, as I mentioned before, the orange ones are folders. Within the folder, there are white activities. Within the white activities, there are a series of exercises. So we're going to start on this white activity. Now, these are very simple activities, just so that I can complete them quickly. Obviously, the content can be as simple or complex as you would want, because you can create your own content as well. So this one is just a simple activity on colours. So I'm just clicking into that. Here you can see a roadmap, not a lot on it, because again, I want to go through it and complete it so you can see everything that happens. So going into this, here we have a different background scene with different motivators.
Draw a line to match word to color.
So this is a simple connect the lines. Some will have words, some will have symbols, some will have a combination of words and symbols. And again, it's widget. You can do what you like in order to sort of create these resources. So let's click on one.
Blue.
If I get it wrong,
Yellow.
then the line doesn't connect. If I get it correct,
Blue.
then the line will. So quickly finishing this.
Orange. Green. Yellow. Yellow.
So I'm motivated, say well done.
Yellow. Yellow. Green. Green. Red. Red. Orange. Orange. Blue. Blue.
Lots of reinforcement for the learning in terms of the repetition there. Moving on. So we go on to our next little exercise.
Find all the colors.
So some you will see have just spoken instructions. Others will have written instructions as well. Now I'm just going to move the recording out of the way. Click off that. If I wanted to hear the instructions again, then I can do that through the question mark in the top right hand corner.
Find all the colors.
And it will give that to me again. So this is now a sorting activity. Lots of different templates, and we'll have a look at those when we go into creating and editing activities ourselves. But the same process. So if I get it wrong,
Striped.
tells me no. If I get it right,
Purple. Black. Orange. Red. Green. Yellow. Blue. Brown.
then it's telling me that that's right. Well done. And we move on to the next activity. See the little submarine moving at the bottom of the page, the screen.
Drag the vowels to build the word yellow.
So we have some building words and building sentence templates. This is a very simple one where we're just looking at vowels. We can make it more complex by having all of the letters, all of the graphemes. We can make it even more complex by having distractors, so random letters that don't actually go in the word. Same process, if I get it right, get it wrong, etc. But we'll just go for getting it right because of time. And as I said before, this is very simple, just so that you're getting the idea. And we could make, obviously, the language, the vocabulary, the concepts and the content much more complicated. Again, a simple one. This time labeling. So this could be labeling parts of a flower, parts of the body, again, around the curriculum that's relevant. So usual thing, get it wrong,
Blue.
get it right.
Blue. Yellow. Black. Green. White. Red. Blue. Green. White. Black. Yellow.
Okay, so we've now completed that series of exercises. We get a bigger motivator and a reward. And we move on to the next series of exercises. Again, just showing you all the different templates. And again, you can see, move that out of the way, you've got a different background. So this time more jungle.
Find the cards that go together.
So this is a matching activity. Fairly straightforward. Just got to know where things are in terms of trying to remember your memory. So I'll probably get them all wrong, but we'll have a go.
White.
Try and remember that.
Purple.
There we go. That's a good start.
Purple. Black. White. White. White.
So this could be exactly matching. So we could have had the two colors, we could have had the two words.
Brown.
We could have had rhyming
Brown.
words. We could have had words starting with the same initial letter.
Black. Black.
Animals and their habitats. So many different things that you could do in terms of this kind of memory matching activity.
Brown. Brown. Black.
Again, all of that reinforcement.
Black. Purple. Purple. White. White.
You can turn off the reinforcement at the end as well if you wish to. So moving on to the next little set. So these...
Use the words that match the colors.
Yeah, I can see a mistake on there. So yellow hasn't appeared. So when we go in, we'll need to reduce the text size on that one. These are clip cards or peg cards. Obviously, when they're physical, you put your paper clip or your peg on the right answer. Here you're going to be choosing it.
Red. Green. Blue. Yellow.
Then we move on to our next one.
Drag the words to build the sentence.
So this is a sentence builder. And as I said before, you could have this as simple or as complex as you want. So I could have fixed some words in the right place to start with, just have the words as they are, added in extra words. And then our final activity or exercise in this set.
Use the word that matches the color.
So we've got multiple choice. Once again, we've got a written instruction. So again, wrong.
Red.
Right.
Blue. Green. Red.
Okay, so we've finished all of these now. So let's see what happens next.
Blue. Green. Green. Red. Red.
Again, our big reward. Shining, we've done well. And we earn a rosette. That now takes us back to our home page. And that rosette saying that we've completed that activity will now go into my collected rosettes in the top right hand corner. And as I said before, the teacher will have on the dashboard all of this information. That set disappears. If I want to reallocate that at any time to the student, because I think they need to go over that one again, then I can do that from the teacher or adults area, which we're going to look at when we get there in a moment. So just opening this next parcel. So this one is phonics. So we have provided resources covering all of the letters and sounds phases from phase 1 to phase 5. Appreciate that not everybody uses letters and sounds, but obviously you can mix and match and go with your scheme. So this is phase 2 and the graphemes I, N, M and D. So again, just want to show you a few little activities, some of the different templates, and also how we've managed to include the correct phonemes when you listen to them. So this one doesn't have a road map because there aren't so many. This one's the ice cream at the beach scene.
Sort the words that begin with
I,
Okay, so you can see there we've recorded the correct phonemes rather than using the computer-generated letter name. So same process with this one. This is a sorting into boxes. Do I get it right? Do I get it wrong, etc. So ink.
Ink.
Wrong. Okay.
Ink. Igloo. No. Bill. None. India. Net.
And obviously I can click
Nat.
on the cells to hear the word as many times as I want before I make that choice.
Nat. Ink. Igloo. Bill. India. No. None. Net. Nat.
And here comes my next one.
Draw a line to connect the initial sounds to the words.
So we have seen this activity before in terms of connect to the cards. This time we can listen to the sound and choose the word that starts with that.
Ink. Dad.
Move along to the next one.
Which words sound the same at the beginning? Drag the pictures to the right box.
Okay.
Mat. Duck.
Okay, so now we've got initial sounds, so matching the initial sound. So we've got mud, we've got mat, and we've got doll.
Mat. Mud. Mat. Duck. Doll. Find the words that sound the same at the beginning.
Okay, so again, this is clip cards. So, but again, using the phone names. So I'll just very quickly do this one.
Bill. Mop. Desk. Net. Igloo. Bill. Mat. Mop. Dog. Desk. Needle. Net. Listen and choose the correct words.
Okay, so this is a slightly different template where I've got the symbols of igloo, duck, nest, etc. I could have sentences and I'm choosing the correct symbol or the correct word that gives me the right answer. This one is choosing the correct sound for the initial letter. So I need to listen to them to find the correct ones.
Doctor.
Oh,
Duck.
sorry,
Duck.
my mistake. It's actually the word, not the initial sounds.
Muddy. Igloo. Igloo. Nest.
And there we go. So finished this set of activities. Let's see what happens next. Again, there's a little reward for that. So now that's just saying I finished that particular set of activities in phonemes in this folder, phonics phase level 2. I do get my rosette, but it doesn't go to my collection in the top right-hand corner until I've collected and completed all of the activities in that orange folder. So essentially, that's what I wanted to show you in terms of student mode. So I'm now going to go into adult mode, and that's done through the bottom right-hand corner and the little lock. In here, you enter a date. So we'll put in 1970. And that opens, you can see it's opened the lock. It's also given me a cog at the top right, which is settings. So If the animations are going to be too distracting, you could turn those off, both sound and the actual animation, and you can change, obviously, accessibility access there as well. In terms of changing voice, that's done through the iPad settings. So we've created everything with Daniel, but if you have a different voice, then obviously you can, that's through your iPad setting. So I'm still on that student mode here, but I want to go into the home mode. So now find and create activities. So this puts me into how can I do this myself? What can I do? How can I amend and edit? Now, when everything's ready, find activities will have all of the activities that Widgit and the education team have created. From find activities, there will be sections, vocabulary, themes, phonics, and examples. You'll be able to choose the ones that you want and download those effectively or move them into My Activities. Once they're in My Activities, that's where you can assign them to your students or amend them or create from scratch. So if I wanted to look at demo activities hard, for example, so here I can open it, I can play it, I can assign it, copy it, delete it. Don't worry about the last two bits. That's our internal working. So again, so if I wanted to assign this, I would just click on assign and choose who I wanted to assign it to. Not going to do that because I do want to change some of it and I can't change it when it's assigned, but you get the idea. So going into demo activities and opening it, I have made a few that are slightly more complex, again, just to show you that you can make this as easy or as hard as you want to. So I'm looking, these are all of the exercises or the pages that are contained within this activity. The one that we're working on or looking at is the one at the top. And looking at the top there, you can see that this is around angles. So this is label the different angles. So it's learning about a more complex mathematical concept. Now, if I want to amend this or change it, I could look at the layout by clicking on the layout ribbon. And that allows me to add or delete some of the cells. So if I want to have more, I click on the right and that puts in another one and it gives me another cell to fill in for the label. If I want to have less, I click on the left and that reduces it. So that's gone back to its original. If I want to reduce it a little bit more, then it takes one of those out, or obviously if I haven't filled them in, it just gives me fewer. If I want to change the content, then I click on the content tab. This is just telling me that I'm going to lose some of it, so that's okay. Yes, I want to continue. So this is my content now. So if I wanted to put in a different word or I wanted to change the background colors, I can do any of that. So if we go into acute, for example, so I'm just clicking into the acute label at the bottom. Obviously brings up my keyboard, but I've also got all of the things at the bottom there that will allow me to change the size of the text, the background color. So we could change that from light blue to buff. We could change the border colors. Oh, I already had dark blue. Let's have purple. So I'm just on the acute one at the moment. I could fill that cell in. So you can see all the things that you would expect in terms of widget. If I want to change that vocabulary, so we can change that and put right angle in, then it's changed that and not to have changed. Sorry, I'm just wondering. Oh, there we go. Need to type into the actual cell at right angle as well. And that then will come up with my symbol, but also just above the keyboard there, you can see all the options for right angle and right that you would expect in Widgit. So that's content. Actions on the ribbon actions. So this is where I can hear it read aloud. So we've muted the cards at the top there because that would give away what it is. But if I didn't want to mute those, then I can, if I'm on obtuse, I can unmute that one. I might want it to say something different. So I've got a speak this at the bottom left-hand corner. That brings up a dialog box. It allows me to read the card content, type something in, record a specific sound, or even play a pre-recorded sound. So we've used the pre-recorded sounds for the phonemes. We've used the pre-recorded sounds for environmental sounds, body percussion, etc., musical instruments in the phase 1 phonics. So we'll go back. Let's put mute card back on that. My instructions, the little question mark. So here's my instructions. So again, I can type in what I want it to say. This is where I can put in written instructions should I wish to do that, and so forth. When I'm happy with all of that, then I can save. So top left. And that will save that to that activity set. If I go back to File, you can see that it's amended it. It's still part of my activity set there. Now, if I want to amend any of the others, obviously I can do that. If I want to make a new page, then I can do that very easily as well. So I would click on New Page, bottom right. And this is showing me now the templates that are available. So it tells me what's the current one I'm using based on the page that I'm on. And then it shows me what's available. So sort the cards, find the cards, connect, arrange. We haven't looked at arrange yet, so we can have a look at that one. Memory we've looked at, building a word and a sentence, clip cards. Drop cards is the one where we had the symbols of the animal and the words underneath, and we had to choose the right one. True or false. So obviously we can make up some sentences and statements and then say, are they true or false? And we saw the multiple choice as well. Preview is basically just vocabulary cards. So it's a bit like flashcards. So if you're introducing a new topic, you might want a preview activity right at the beginning to introduce all of the new vocabulary that's a part of that topic. Let's have a look then at arrange. So arrange could be a sequence. It could be arranged from smallest to largest. It could be how do I don't know, I can't think of it. Wash my hands, have a shower, peel an apple. Anything that you would want in terms of a sequence. Again, you can see the number of options ranging from 3 up to 7 there. So we'll just go for 3. So I've chosen that. It's coming up with my content. And now I just need to fill this in. So we'll do a smallest to largest. And again, I can show you how you can change the sizes of the symbols. So I'm going to have a ball in each of these. So I'll type ball, ball, and ball in each one of these. But I want obviously to make some of these bigger, some of these smaller. So this template is set with the starting from left to right. So whatever you put in first is on the left is going to be the first thing. So that's the one I want to be the smallest. Now, I also want all of these symbols at the top to be symbol only. So I'm just going to highlight. Bear with me, I'm not good with iPads, that's it. I'll highlight all of those and you can see the menu bar at the bottom. So I'm going to choose symbol only on that one. I'm also going to take the borders off of these. So on the bottom of that bar, the right, I've got sort of no borders. So I'm going to have no borders. So it's just the ball there. And now my first one, I want that to be my smallest. So I'm going to make that, oops, I've got them all highlighted. Right, let's just highlight one, make that very small. My middle one is now, can click on there, make that a bit smaller, but bigger than the previous one. And then my last one, I want that to be the biggest. So I'm going to increase that to be the biggest. So I've now got smallest to largest. So we can put that in my instructions. So we want a written instruction and we want to type in arrange from smallest to largest. That will automatically symbolize. Once again, I've got my options for good symbolization. So I don't want the symbol for from, we'll remove that. And I want the matching symbol for largest. So we'll put that one in as well. Happy with all of that. Oh, let's change this. Arrange the cards from smallest to largest. So it says the same thing. Okay, happy with that. So we'll click yes, we're happy with that. When I've done that, I want to see whether it works. So we'll play it. Now, if we play within adult mode, we don't get the animation. So obviously it's a lot quicker to check on it. So I'm going to do that through the arrow in the top right.
Arrange the cards from smallest to largest.
Okay, that's what I wanted it to do. So now I can do that.
Ball. Ball. Ball.
Okay. Might be, having done that, I might decide actually I don't want to have the card read aloud because it doesn't really make much sense in this instance. So we could go to actions. We can try and highlight all of them in one go. Yep, there we go. And we can say mute card. Don't want it read aloud. And that's how I want it to actually play. Then I'm going to save that. So I'm going to save that top left. Now that saves that into my activity. So if I go back to file, that's added in a new exercise in this activity. When I've done everything, bottom left, save activity. So this is called demonstration, or sorry, I've got a symbol there, which I can choose whatever I want it to be. I've given it a title and I can choose to put in a description, activities around mathematical concepts, whatever it might be, and the difficulty level. Now, the majority of the activities that we've made so far are at that simple level. Some of them are slightly harder. Obviously, you can choose, we can choose as we're allocating it. These ones we'd say are harder, so we'd set the difficulty level at 3 and click OK. And that's now saved that activity for me. If I wanted to delete some of those pages, obviously you can see there's a delete button at bottom right. But essentially, that is how I would create and amend any activities. What I haven't done is said that we can also add in photographs from storage or photographs from that you take from your iPad, your tablet at that time. So if we want to do that, let's open my demo activities again. And we're going to add a new page. And this time we're going to build a sentence. We're just going to do a simple one. So this might lead itself now to colourful semantics. And again, we will be making a set of colourful semantics resources. But if I want to put in a photograph, then I go into my top cell, and you can see there above the keyboard, it's come up with the options. So we're going to go to the file of photographs. Okay, this has actually gone into my set of photos that I've got here. I have got some pet ones, and this one here is the one I want to use. Okay, quickly get that downloaded. And then we can get that in. Okay, so that's gone in. And the sentence, I want this just to be a photograph, so I'll set that as a symbol only at the bottom left-hand corner. And then my sentence, I type in the bottom here. So this is the boy strokes the dog. Okay, and so if we want this to be colourful semantics or Fitzgerald scheme, then obviously we can put the right colours in there. So let's put in the boy. Go an orange there. Okay, and so on and so forth. Once again, we save that. We play it. And we can
drag the cards to build a sentence.
Okay, and we can see then and get that sorted out in the right way. So that, as I say, is essentially all I wanted to do in terms of showing you Symbla today. We are going to hopefully have a launch in September, and we'll be asking for volunteers to do some beta testing for us, perhaps towards the end of the summer term. So if there are any volunteers who are interested in doing beta testing for Symbla, please email me at sue@widgit.com, and we'll be able to send you a code that you can then test for us, and obviously provide us any feedback. So thanks very much for listening. I hope it's whetted your appetite. More information to come in terms of pricing, subscriptions, how you can actually get it, etc., as we develop more later this year.